Oh, 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 oh! I heard Gear Chronicle. Oh, here we go. It's time. It's time, boys. I want to see Arlen, and I want to see Uluru, and maybe an Eluru or whatever. But I want to see Arlen and Uluru. If not, I'm gonna riot in the streets. Oh yo, we get an artwork for Chronicle as a reprint. Oh, that's pretty dope. That's actually really dope. That's really dope, bro. That's actually really freaking dope. Wait, what the hell is this? That's not a Steam Maiden. What? Bro, what the hell? I see Steam Maiden. It is Steam Maiden support. Like it looks like. What? Wait. Because it literally states here Steam Maiden. So is it like indirect Steam Maiden support without having the Steam Maiden name so it doesn't power creep the current Steam Maiden multi-attack? What's going on? At least, at the very least, we know that Steam Maiden is gonna get Uluru, like first battle or something, and it gets 1k power. That doesn't make any sense. Whoa, whoa! Okay, that's a Steam Maiden. Okay, that's a Steam Maiden, and it has the little cat on the back of the bike. Okay, so we do at least have one new Steam Maiden. Okay. So we do have a grade 3 Uluru. Okay, so we do have a grade 3 Uluru most likely. Is he gonna be... Is he gonna be like a reversion of Uluru or not? That's the question. Okay, so this can search out the gear cat so you can have the booster in a column, which is very interesting. And when this is played, so you can do this mid combo. So if you time leap into this from the grade 1, you can call the grade 1, have a pretty sizable booster as well. Oh yo! Oh, let's go! Great for Uluru! Although this artwork, by the way, is pretty sick. Yo, this artwork is sick. But wait, it's a grade 4 now. How? So is that the reason why we have Chrono Jet back? So we need Chrono Jet to go into... Wait, she has the U effect. Wait, so if this is a grade 4 Steam Maiden, does that mean we can turn the grade 3 into the grade 4? Wait, what the hell are these effects? Wait. I need to go back. She calls herself from drop to the Guardian Circle, then binds herself. Wait, really? Wait! Hold on a moment. I completely forgot. There is something else we can do. In premium, however, that's actually pretty interesting, bruh. In premium, we can potentially G-guard while our opponent is not even at grade 3. Like, I forgot one card existing. Wait. And it works into the engine as well. Oh, where is that card? Where is it? Oh, yo, let's go. Where is it? Steam Maiden. Where are you? Steam Maiden. There you are. We got this card. Oh my god. This works with the Uluru pretty damn fucking well. And then I can go back into the grade 2. I honestly can't believe these reveals. Yes, I might be further away from what I initially thought with the previous video there where we discussed what I think the Steam Maidens need. But after reflecting this also during the live stream, I realized that this new support wave, even though it's not what I thought it is going to be or what we need, it's probably what the archetype needed and what Gear Chronicle mainly as a whole also needed, because there is a lot of prospect for premium here with a lot of very interesting new strategies that we can employ. So let's take a look at these brand new Gear Chronicle Steam Maiden support cards and marvel in their grace. But before we're gonna tackle the new cards, we also know the reprints, which on first glance are a bit surprising, but make sense after you take everything in consideration, because the reprints for Gear Chronicle is Chronojet Dragon, Steam Performer Karum, and Lost Gear Dog 8. So Chronojet Dragon with the zero artwork is a very nice reprint, and it's one of the more generic boss units for Gear Chronicle, so this is nice for an easier access for everybody. The Steam Performer is a promo that's now easier to get, but honestly I am not a fan of this card. It's essentially an hate around dragon, which is very overcosted because it costs you a Soul Blast, a discard, 2 Counter Blast, and the card to be bound to get essentially a hate around effect at the beginning of your opponent's battle phase. And then Lost Gear Dog 8, which is probably the better reprint here. Yes, we already got this in the previous support wave for Gear Chronicle and Clan Collection, but with the latest support for Steam Maidens, this is a card you're probably going to run, which makes the deck a lot more consistent. So nice to have it here in the batch. Now with those reprints known, let's take a look at these new Steam Maiden cards and see what they have in store for us, because oh boy, it is looking pretty spicy. Because first off, we've got a brand new grade 1, which is Steam Cruising Gear Cat. And let me tell you, I was very surprised when we saw this card during the live stream, because I was a bit scared that we weren't getting Steam Maiden support. But this is honestly a pretty decent Steam Maiden support card, because its effects are auto. When this unit plays on the Vanguard circle or Rearguard circle, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card with Steam Maiden in its card name from among them, reveal it, and add it to your hand. And put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So it's a Steam Maiden searcher. And right now with the new support, we have a brand new grade 2, but we also have the original grade 1, the original grade 2, and the original grade 3 to search. We have a couple more Steam Maidens, like we have Ribble, but Ribble you're not really going to play as she doesn't really interact with the Steam Maidens. And we of course have Angilsa, but that's probably more of a premium application card, and Uluru herself. So this is a nice card to search out your engine, and it's a free plus potentially. And the fact that you can also write this means we have 2 solid write targets for Steam Maiden. We have either the Steam Maiden grade 1 or we have this grade 1, which increases the consistency of your early game planning. And of course, if you also run Lost Gear Dog 8, you have all good grade 1 targets. But it also has a secondary effect, which is auto Rearguard circle. When this unit boosts, this unit gets power plus 1k for each card in your bind zone until the end of battle. So this is essentially a booster, which is nice because the Steam Maiden deck does struggle a bit with making magic numbers and hitting over defensive triggers. And this is a booster can help with that, because behind a 10k grade 2 can easily make a 23k column without the force marker, because it's not that unlikely to have like 5 cards in your bind zone, especially with the latest support. So I think this is actually a pretty decent booster. It's not insane, but it does both things. It's a searcher to some extent for your archetype, and it gives a little bit power to the field. But where this grade 1 really starts to shine is once we take a look at the new grade 2, which I'm gonna tell you right now is probably the biggest impact with what we've seen so far. Because this brand new grade 2 is Steam Maiden Entalana. And Entalana has the effect, although when this unit plays in the Vanguard circle or Rearguard circle, cost Counterblast 1, search your deck for up to 1 Storm Cruising Gear Cat, call to the Rearguard circle in the same column as this unit, and shuffle your deck. So this is a searcher for your archetype searcher. So if you use this effect, not only will you filter your deck for the grade 1, but then the grade 1 will activate and check the top 3 for adding potentially another Steam Maiden. That's a pretty good synergy to just start filtering your deck and making pluses. But on top of that, this also fixes an issue what the Steam Maiden archetype has, and that's using Counterblast in the early game to get your counter charges the moment you go into Uluru with your Uluru multi-tech plays. And the only thing to fix that you use Counterblast in the early game is to basically run a grade 2 out archetype that uses Counterblast in the early game, like Karuntar or Earcup. But in this case, we have Antalana, which basically does this in archetype, so you don't have to play other cards that doesn't really revolve around what your main gimmick is. So that's already really nice. But then it has a second effect, which changes everything for the archetype, as it has auto Rearguard circle at the end of the battle that this unit attacked while boosted, which you can easily fulfill with her first effect, cost Soul Blast 1, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card from among them, add it to your hand, and bind the rest. This is really good for multiple reasons. First off, it's a Soul Blast skill, We needed good Soul Blast skills for the Steam Maiden archetype, because the issue is that you want to write your Steam Maiden cards, but the moment that you write them, it's harder to get them into the drop zone, and we needed Soul Blast skills to do that. Now we have a really good Soul Blast skill that can set up those cards in your drop zone and then can immediately bind them with your other cards during your combo plays. But more importantly, this card removes the need of playing Re-Innovate Winged Dragon, which I was not a fan of if you see my previous video talking about what Steam Maidens need. Because that card is way too RNG, I'm forced to call cards from my hand to the field, which I probably don't want to call, and then bind them, because some cards I just read I want to stick on the board, like Naboo's for example, and then I need to call cards on the top of the deck, which means if there are all triggers in the top of the deck, I just created a worse field that doesn't really help me anything, and my bind zone didn't increase in value. This card is the exact same thing as Re-Innovate Winged Dragon without the downsides. One, I don't have to call things to the field, but two, it adds the cards to hand instead of field. So if I see triggers in the top of the deck, I can add them to hand and I have the shield value. And I can just easily bind the non-trigger cards onto the bind zone. And if those are Steam Maidens, and especially with the latest support being more Steam Maiden focused, that's going to happen more often, which then also sets this up, which is really nice. So this card that only searches out a searcher is a grade 2 that allows us to use counterblast in the early game, is another Steam Maiden grade 2 Vanguard, which is also a very important thing, because if our opponent is rushing us a little bit and we have 2 counterblast and we can set up our bind zone a bit, we can essentially at least multi-tack 1 extra attack in the early game if we can set up a grade higher from the Steam Maiden that we have in our hand, which is now doable because we don't necessarily have to go with the Uluru bind play with our grade 1 Steam Maiden, and now we can preemptively set up our combos for this grade 2 turn, because it's more likely that we will have a Steam Maiden Vanguard on turn 2, and we have an extra Steam Maiden onto the Rigid Circle that can potentially multi-attack, which is very nice. And then on top of that, this card Soul Blasted, which allows us to Soul Blast our ridden Steam Maidens, and on top of that, it can also accelerate our bind zone and add cards to our hand, which is pretty good, because keep in mind, it's a Soul Blast 1 that sets up our multi-attacks, and it pluses us, which is really good if you think about it. But then we got the creme de la creme, the cream on top, because we've got the brand new Uluru, which of course I thought might be a grade 3 and that would be the reverse unit, and a lot of people also expected that, but it was none of that, because the brand new Uluru is not Uluru reverse or reverse Uluru. No, it's also not a grade 3. It's a grade 4 retroactive Time Maiden Uluru. Yes, it's the original G-Guard for Gear Chronicle, and it's just as good as that G-Guard, because her effects are auto. When this unit is put into the Guardian Circle, cost, choose a unit card from your drop, put it on the bottom of your deck, or bind it, and this unit gets shield plus 25k until the end of the battle. So this is 25k shield, and initially when I first saw this skill, I was like, oh, okay, I need to set it up with its other effects because I cannot guard from hand. No, those rules have changed. You can guard with this in the early game, so your grade 4s aren't dead cards in hand anymore, because it's literally 25k shield I can use on turn 1, turn 2, or turn 3, and it can put cards from my drop either back to the deck, which can be triggers by the way, but I can also bind them. So if I want to accelerate my bind zone with more cards and to empower my my grade 3s or the grade 1 booster, this is a nice way to do that, which then means I will not only accelerate my power plays, I can accelerate and set up my combos, but I can also filter my deck and fill them up with more triggers, while also having a gigantic shield on top of that. But it's not only just a guard from hand, because there is more applications to this card. Because her other effect is auto from drop. When your Vanguard is attacked, cost, discard a heal trigger from hand and call this card to the Guardian Circle. So yes, this is essentially a G-Guard within V. Because you can discard a heal, call this thing from the drop, it's 25k shield, you can shuffle back literally the heal you just discarded, or you can bind it if you need to do that, and then you can basically continue moving onwards. That's really good for obvious reasons, because heals are not 25k shield. Yes, in the Steam Maiden deck, you're probably not going to run the heal Guardians, But this, to some extent, makes up for the Hue Guardians, because after turn 3, the Hue Guardians doesn't really do anything, whereas this is much more value continuously throughout the game, which is really nice, especially with the fact that you can shuffle back your heals, and if you can put this back into the drop, you can do this over and over and over again, which is pretty nice. But then it also has another effect, which makes this thing even better. And to some extent might say it's worse because you cannot easily loop it. But there are other things that will come into play with this effect. Is auto, when this unit is retired from the Guardian Circle, bind this card. So essentially, you either call it from hand, get the value, and then it binds it. Or it is in the drop, you discard a heal, superior call to the Guardian Circle, then it moves to the bind zone, and then you can do other things with it. Because the impact that it has that this card goes to the bind zone is that it fills your bind zone up, so that means you have more power for your grade 3 and a booster, but also it means that you have a grade 4 target to time leap into. And that means that Steam Maiden archetype now has 2 main combo lines besides the multi-attack lines if you have multiple columns. Just for one single column, there are now 2 attack patterns. Either you can go from the grade 0 Uluru into a grade 1 with the grade 3 Vanguard skill, then into a grade 2, and then into a grade 3. But now you can also go into a grade 1, into a grade 2, into a grade 3, and from the grade 3, thanks to the Vanguard's ability, into this grade 4 Uluru that's in your bind zone. So that means you have 2 main plays for combo attacks. And the grade 0 to grade 3 lineup costs you 1 counter blast if you can counter charge, otherwise it will cost you 2 counter blasts. And the grade 1 to grade 4 line, combo line is always going to be 2 counter blast. That means the deck is a lot more flexible in our attack pattern, and the interesting thing is, if you call this thing off of your multi-attack, it's on the Reprint circle, so you can call a unit at the top of it, it goes to the drop, and then you can use the effect again. Also a nice thing to think about, because we have a grade 4, you can essentially bind this with the grade 2 Steam Maiden, and that Steam Maiden gets 3k power for every grade you bound, so now she gets plus 12k, meaning on a force marker, she's gonna be 32k power, which hits significant magic numbers against Protect and Exile, which is very nice. Also, a thing to keep in mind is that this Uluru can circumvent around those nasty guard restrictions with Super Battle Dore or Hope on Damp or whatnot, because they do nothing against Superior Call G-Guardians or Superior Call Guards, which is very nice. This retroactive Time Maiden Uluru is really good for the Steam Maiden archetype, as well as with the grade 1 and the grade 2. And that makes me very excited for this deck, because it's going to increase the power level, the consistency of the Steam Maiden deck pretty significantly, which makes me very excited for these cards, and I cannot wait to test them out. And I'm probably gonna test them out next Tuesday during my live stream with hopefully with Melomet, where we can try out these new cards, because believe me, I want to play these cards ASAP. But as so far, we've only been talking about these cards in context of the V Premium Time Maiden deck, or the Steam Maiden deck. Now, the interesting thing is, with Uluru, you can immediately go to the conclusion that she's going to be insane for the Mystery Flare Turbo deck, because we have a grade 4 that bounds itself without any setup. Just guard with it, and it goes to the bind zone, which is excellent for Mystery Flare. But there is some other implications what these cards bring to the table, specifically for premium gears. And I'm probably gonna save that for a future video, but let me tell you, there is actually a possibility for a new Gear Chronicle premium build that has early game that can really annoy your opponent, because you can loop resources over and over and over again until your opponent just stops and just gives you what you want, and you can kill them off with your first try turn with Slishma, which also is insane with this archetype. Very fun stuff, and I am honestly looking forward to how this can interact with everything. And interesting enough, within Premium, now your Hue Guardians are gonna be even more insane, because your Hue Guardians will essentially be very good for turn 1 and turn 2, but then for turn 3, if you cannot go into your G-Guards or whatnot, you also have this Uluru as a possibility to go into. So, really interesting stuff, and I'm very curious of how things will pan out moving forward, because either I am breathing the copious of copium, or I have honestly discovered something for Gears in Premium, but we will have to wait and see, because that's something for a future video. But with that said, I want to know what you guys think of these cards. Honestly, I'm super biased with these cards, and I'm very excited and very happy with these cards, how they pan out, and what they can do for the Steam Maiden archetype. But what's your thought about these cards? Do you think they are pretty sweet? Do you think they're a bit underwhelming? Do you think they should have been more? Because there's always the opinion where you can have, say, like, why is the card only checked top 3 for Steam Maiden, not checked top 5 or checked top 7? Why is it only on the... why does a certain skill cause a certain counterblast or soul blast? There's always something to debate, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/FranklinSider. You guys are amazing. If you do want to support the channel or everything that's happening on the channel, you can simply go to patreon.com/FranklinSider and become a Patreon today. But with that said, I've missed the time leap, and I see you guys in the next one!